Coming from our collective caves into your dank dwellings, we haven't done one of these for a while. We've all sort of splintered off into our own separate worlds. I've been working on a few different things. But this is the Cave Dweller Music Podcast. My name's Matt. We've got Brendan and James on the line as well. We're going to do a bit of a recap of what's been happening. Pretty busy few months for us here at Cave Dweller Music. We're also going to be having a look at and comparing and contrasting the top albums that we had for halfway through the year. Now, it is September, so a bit's gone by. We've revisited a couple of older records that came out earlier on in the year, so our picks will have changed. And we don't listen to metal exclusively, so we're going to suss out what's been happening in a few different genres. We've got big stuff happening in regards to PR. You might have seen that pop up on the Facebook page. We've also got the Discord server as well. And there's been a couple of little whispers, little preview videos happening of some merch that we've got lined up. All very exciting stuff happening. First and foremost, gents, how are we today?
Yeah, excellent.
Doing really well.
That's always good to hear. It's always good to have a chat, have a bit of a catch up and see what's happening there. Now, did we want to start first and foremost with a bit of a recap to see what's been happening in the Cave Dweller world? I mentioned there that we've got the PR going and the merch going. James, you've done a lot with the PR, and Brendan, merch was your domain. I think a lot of people are going to be keen on actually being able to wear some Cave Dweller stuff. So, Brendan, walk us through what's happening with all the merch.
So right now I have in our hands here T-shirts and sweatshirts that we approved of. They were really well done. Gildan material. So everything is the classic
band shirt.
Yeah, everything, it's familiar, it's comfortable. We got the soft style T-shirts. They're really well done. The work was done by Brass City Inc. in Connecticut, right near me, and they did a stellar job. Everything looks really well done. Details immaculate, and it's comfortable. What we're hoping to do is eventually get everything lined up for packaging, so we can get everything shipped out safely, and then we'll take pre-orders and we'll get everything lined up, and I'll get to the print shop and get the order placed. And what's really cool is I can drive down there and see how everything's going on, and it's just two people working their ass off doing embroidery. They make stickers. They do all kinds of good stuff. So, we might be able to see a Cave Dweller hat in the future. So really neat stuff going on, but we got to make it all happen with some pre-orders first. So.
And what about the artwork? Who was that?
That was Avenged Creations. And he did such an amazing job. Basically worked with us hand in hand. We were like, hey, we want to have this, we want to have that. And he goes, all right, cool. And then he would hit us up with something, and then he would have like his little twist, as artists usually do. And it came out amazing. We have the fossil like clutching the record, and you have like kind of mushrooms kind of growing through the skull and bones and parts, and it looks organic. And we have on the hood the melting vinyl, which is kind of neat. This looks like a kind of just like a campfire, but with like melting vinyl. And we have a jawbone weapon on the sleeve, which I think would be a really badass hat in the future. And we have our Cave Dweller music in amazing cave fashion with bones and stones, and everything's just super well done. And I can't be happier with how the quality of the print work came out. It's a nice, it's not a bright white. It's like this, kind of nice gray color that flows nicely on the black. Yeah, it's sweet. I think too that I haven't talked to you guys about it yet, but I was thinking about popping in for a second screen and doing like a two-tone on the fossil with like maybe coloring like the mushrooms and like some of the vinyl or something.
Fuck yeah. I a while back there was a like big zine and indie comic symposium that I was a part of running here in Brisbane, and we actually got to go down and do some screen printing one day. So like the idea of like a two-tone color is so awesome. It works out really well. And especially like if you've got dark shirt, dark base, and then just have those highlights that really pop off the shirt and make it look so much better.
Yeah. I think I can't wait to kind of test it out. And then also like with stickers, we have the design already. And with stickers, we can do anything we wanted. We could have, if we wanted to say like take the fossil, for instance, we could have like a rainbow fossil if we really wanted to, or like have it be like mirrored reflective, like kind of metal or like refractive, sorry. And then like all kinds of, there's possibilities are endless with like stickers, which is really cool. So there's a lot of neat stuff that is at the fingertips here, which is really nice.
And do we have a definitive timeline on when pre-orders are going to be up, or is it something that people are going to have to keep an eye out on the Facebook page?
I think that's something James and I just have to buckle down. But I think now that James has his merch in hands, I think it's going to be easier to get done now that we know, and he agrees that everything's good. I'm speaking for you right now, James.
I know. He's honestly the tyrant of Cave Dweller music. We just have to do what he says or he cracks the whip.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It was interesting because when I saw the design on the hoodie overs, like video.
Or pictures.
Yeah, or pictures, it kind of looked like a little small at the back, but then seeing it in person, it looks great. I mean, I only got mine yesterday, so yeah, I've been wearing it around the house and stuff.
Yep. I've been wearing mine, and then like the sweatshirt, it's just been like, it was like, it's too hot still. I'm like, man, I just want to wear my hoodie, but like I can't just.
Yeah, I can't wear it. It's hot as hell here. I can't wear the sweatshirt. I want to because it literally fits me perfectly, like it was made for me type thing.
Exactly.
So what I kind of figured is like the sweatshirts are the exact size they said they were, but the t-shirts are a little bigger than they said they are. So it's like it's a loose fit medium for the mediums. Or maybe yours is different though, because yours is a different shirt to mine.
Ours was the Gildan Hammer. I said it was soft style. It's a medium. It's like not a heavyweight. It's in between the soft style and the heavyweight. Right. And I think the mediums that you got, I can't remember the name of the brand. It was, but it's a very similar size. But that was just because we didn't want to wait for the Gildan mediums to show up.
Right, which we might be able to get for the pre-orders though.
Oh, no. We'll definitely get the Gildan Well, for the pre-orders, it'll be easy, like, because they'll tell us when they get them, and that's when we'll tell them when they're ready. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's it. That's that easy. It's just a matter of, like, we were impatient on the medium. Also, with the sweatshirt, they said that, like, there will be a little bit of shrinkage with the sweatshirt. So, like, if you wear, like, you know how it says it fits you perfectly. Like, I got an extra large because sometimes I'll wear, like a long sleeve shirt or something underneath my hoodie. So, like, I wanted, like, a little bit of room. So, like, but I haven't washed it yet because I haven't really worn it. So, I think, though, if I got a large, for me, I think it would fit perfectly. And with the extra large, it just has that little bit of bagginess that, like, you expect with, like, a really comfortable hoodie.
Yeah, I like my hoodies tight, so that's just me. If you're snug. But yeah, as far as timeline goes, Brandon and I are just kind of sorting out the last few details about like packaging and shipping costs. That's all we're waiting on now at this point.
Yeah. So I did buy packaging.
Oh, cool.
So I did get, packaging, black packaging. I was going to get pink and be like, because it was like $2-3 cheaper to get the same, like, I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. I didn't get the pink, but I got the black. And that should be coming.
You just have to go to UPS then and get pricing? Is that what we're waiting on?
So I want to, because I went to no, I went to UPS, and that they told me that it was
USPS. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, I want to go there and check out their pricing because UPS wanted like $236 to send a sweatshirt to France, and I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's insane. So there's got to be like a little bit of research to be done, but we're definitely not going to use UPS if that's how it's going to be. So
I'm fairly sure that USPS is a lot cheaper because it's just the standard United States mailing service.
Right, exactly. And then plus the packaging that I bought will be smaller than the packaging I sent to you, James.
Yeah, and super light.
Yeah. Right. So, and I think that's also part of it. So, was how big the package was. There's just a wide envelope, really, but
damn you!
Nonetheless, it won't be astronomical to send out a sweatshirt and a T-shirt once we're finally said and done. But that'll probably, just like the standard, like. We'll get our price set for what we want. I can't remember. It was probably around like selling a sweatshirt. Like, don't quote me yet, but around probably like $36 to $38. I can't remember if I talked about
sort of around that price point. Around that price.
Yeah,
point.
it just depends on how much we get in pre-orders and all that. So that's that. But it's really a couple $1 difference between what we get and then all that. So nonetheless, they will be available. It will be affordable and it will be awesome.
So that's going from the cave dweller stuff that you can wear. But if you were an artist listening on into this and you're sitting there thinking, man, this PR company that I'm with is fucked. Well, don't we have a surprise for you? The tyrant of cave dweller music himself, the Mongol of metal media, Mongol. Yeah, no, I was going to say Mongoloid, but that's not what we're after.
Mogul?
The Mongol. There we go. I knew my words were a little bit off. Let me try that again.
It's okay when you're a Neanderthal.
Hey! I do. There's not really a lot going on upstairs. I was trying to be clever and it blew up in my face. But the mogul of metal media, James, he's brought about Cave Dweller PR. Mate, speak to the people. Speak to the people. Tell them what you got.
So basically, it was about 6 months in the planning stage just to kind of figure out the logistics of it and make the idea come to life, I guess. And then last 3 months, it's been the hush-hush period of me doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff, like getting the business license, getting registered, like getting a mailing address, building the website, hiring an artist. And by the way, the artist who did my logos and the website is the same one that we went with for the shirts. So if you like that, you're going to love the shirts. And I guess, how long has it been now? It launched about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's not long close to a month.
Close to a month now. We announced everything publicly. And it's been off to a great start. So I started working with Nicholas Turner, good friend to myself and the site, as our first client on his album, Transmissions of the Unearthly, out October 31st. We've been doing some PR campaign for that. So we've had some good responses so far, a couple of track premieres. It's getting out there. And then my second client, who I only launched last week, is the band project is called Cool Chair, and it's a B-horror movie punk album that's definitely more on the melodic side. Got some pop punk influences in there, but the cool catchy stuff, not the I'm a sad emo and I don't have a girlfriend stuff. More talking about zombies and bear attacks than that sort of thing. Yeah, and it's got a bunch of really funny, interesting prog and death metal stuff that randomly takes place. You're not expecting it. It kind of catches you off guard. So yeah, Matt, I don't know if you listened to it yet, but I think I sent it to you. Same with you, Brendan. It's a fun album.
You did. I listened to it. It's good. Or I don't know if I listened to the entire thing. I think I only had a couple tracks available.
Yeah, 2 tracks so far.
Yeah. So, but it was fun and different for sure.
It's one of those things you just kind of go into it like, this is going to be fun. It's not going to take it seriously and you have a good time.
Oh, yeah. When I was listening to it, I was like, James, are you okay? I hear it. This is good. Yeah,
it's that tag. It's that pop punk tag. It puts some people off, which is kind of sad because it's a really fun album. And once you listen to it, you're like, okay, it's so much more than that.
It's a lot of times you get a lot of those people that are just like, it's not metal. It's got clean vocals. I don't understand. I just don't. And people, they just
Brendan,
don't.
I feel personally attacked by that statement, and that's kind of upsetting to hear.
And then, so just to touch more on the Nicholas Turner album, because I did give a bit more time to Cool Cherish. It's not fair. I love my children equally. The Nicholas Turner album is 19 tracks of live improvised psychedelic black metal and sludge. So if you like the sound of that, definitely check it out. Honestly, I mean, the guy puts out so much stuff, and I think this might be my favorite release from Nothing Is Real. So that's
really?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I thought the last one he put out was really fucking good, and the one before that, Symphony, was amazing. Like, are you serious?
This one is like, it's 19 tracks for one, so it's a lot of music. But most importantly, like, he just met this dude, the drummer. They never worked together. They never really heard each other's music that much, and they just jammed 19 tracks together. All live.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it feels like super like free flowing and really natural. It's awesome, and it's like it's way more psychedelic than his previous albums, which is cool.
That's awesome because they're all really kind of like that,
Yeah, I know, so do I. And because the drummer is like from a psych rock, acid rock background, so yeah, that played into it. And then, I mean, I've got some other stuff in the works. I'm working with the Mountain King on the press kit for his upcoming album. More details on that revealed soon. And I just today, last week, signed a new artist. So make sure I get it right. Here we go. The artist's name is Phil Smith. He goes by his own name, and the album is called Vain Life in the Orchid House. And it's like dark ambient experimental drone stuff. But the cool thing is that he recorded all the instrumental parts, like they were free-form improv stuff, and then he fed them through an algorithm in a software that he works with, because he's a computer programmer for a living, and it rewrote them into songs.
All right. That's an interesting way of approaching it. I like it.
Yeah, so it's a very unique album, and it turned out really cool. Some awesome dark ambient, like electronic stuff, like great noise stuff. So yeah, that's it for my clients at the moment. There is other stuff in the works, but I'm not going to announce anything else on here until it's sealed in concrete. And I guess if you're interested in like reaching out for PR, I personally think my prices are super affordable. $100 for 1 month campaign, $250 for 3 months. Press kits are $50, but those other campaigns include press kits in there. I'll share everything in groups for you, submit it to all of my media contacts, which there's a fair number of them there. Design the mailer campaign. I'll give you live track feedback on the metrics and how the campaign is doing as well. So.
And just touching on those media contacts, old Cool Chair got a little nod in Brooklyn Vegan.
Yeah. So it's it's owned by Vegan. It's like the middle wing of Vegan, essentially. A lot of you know them. Invisible Oranges. So they'll be premiering the full album actually on October 20th. So keep an eye out for that.
Very exciting stuff. And just you've mentioned your prices there, but one thing that you didn't mention is how do people get in contact with you, man?
Right. So just like Cave Dweller, there's a separate profile and website for everything for this business. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we have a website, all under the Cave Dweller Productions name. And you can find those links if you're following Cave Dweller Music on our Linktree as well. There is a link to the website there.
And there's something else that's sprung up recently in the Cave Dweller universe. Mate, we're going to end up being like Marvel and having all these different things coming out from underneath one banner. But the Discord, I haven't had anything to do with Discord before, so you gents are probably a little bit more qualified to talk to Discord, how to get involved, and what that whole scene's all about.
Yeah, I mean, Brendan and I are kind of in the same boat with that, where none of us really had much experience with it, right, Brendan, before this?
I mean, Discord a little bit, just because I'm a nerdy dad and played some video games with some other dads.
You were on Discord already?
So, yeah. I already had it But I don't. I've been so busy lately. I haven't really been in touch with those guys. So it's it is what it is. But yeah, I have it there, and then we got it for the Terminus, right?
Yeah, we were on Terminuses and in Haitian firms. I remember that. I hadn't really used it though. But I mean, if anyone's interested or curious, basically Discord is a live chat room. We can completely customize, and it's not censored. So if you're sick of being censored on Facebook for sharing stuff or like stuff being taken down, jump on Discord and share with us there. You can chat with everyone that's a member of the Capable Discord server, share links, have free-flowing conversations. We have a live one, which is what am I listening to now? Great place to just drop stuff that you listen to, other people check out, find music. There's a general chat, and there's a few other areas. So, yeah, definitely come jump on and check it out with us.
Beautiful. Well, speaking of things that we've been listening to, I've got up our top 4 of 2021 so far. I'm going to do a quick run through to go each of our individual ones. And like we mentioned, there's been a whole bunch more albums that have come out since then, and also ones that we've gone through to check out previously. I'll go over mine first, and then you gents can speak to the ones that you covered previously. So by the time of June, mine was Black Country New Road, Slant, The Scientists, and Fiddlehead. Now, I don't know whether it is because I've been actively working out more that I've gone back and listened to more knuckle dragging, like crossover thrash, just really dumb and ignorant hardcore. But that's been a lot of my tastes recently. So we mentioned this off air before we started recording, but the brand new Dead Heat record, World at War, is super fun. If you're a fan of that, like more hardcore groove style of like Cro-Mags, Judge, and Earth Crisis style of hardcore with the more thrashier parts of, well, basically thrash, definitely give that one a listen. Malice at the Palace are another great one as well. An EP of theirs is Malice at the Palace AD. I sent a photo of them to James, and their like band tag is Life is Hard, Be Harder. And one of the members looks like he lives at a gym. So if you got like, it's the same thing with Harm's Way, right? You see the guy from Harm's Way and just think, fuck, this is going to be some ignorant shit to listen to. That's sort of like in the realm of heavier music that I've really been a fan of. Oh, and of course, how could I forget Hooded Menace? Hooded Menace have a new record out, The Tritonus Bell. I'm a big fan of that. And you guys also mentioned Terminus a little earlier on in the show. And I was listening to one of their more recent episodes. I can't remember the name of it, but basically it starts with a story of one of the dudes going camping in the woods and growling at a bear. If you find the start of that episode, this review's in there. But it's Apparition of Sunlight with Wilt of Roses Crimson. It's a great demo, 3 tracks. I think it goes for like 15, 20 odd minutes. So for a 3-track demo, it's a pretty hefty boy. But I'm a really big fan of that. And so they're sort of the metamorphosis of my earlier top 4 list. Have you gents had a chance to check out any of the records that I mentioned?
The ones that you're talking about now, or the ones from the original list?
No, the ones that I'm talking about now. The original list is 3 months ago, James. We got to let it go. It's in the past.
Yeah, I did. I checked out the Burning Pale. What was the first one called? The thrash crossover one?
Dead Heat.
Yeah, I checked out the Dead Heat one. That one was fantastic.
The best way I can describe it is like the cover looks like the video game covers of the old Doom games. It's one dude shooting a whole bunch of other people. But yeah, incredibly fun, incredibly stupid, and good stuff to lift heavy rocks to. We got the words out there in the end.
It's kind of funny because, like, you and I always kind of end up being the same person in some ways, Matt. But I've also fallen down the hardcore and crossover rabbit hole because I've been going to the gym more as well. So yeah, I understand exactly where you're coming from.
one of those things, and I think I might make this a group post, or now that I know how Discord works and what to do there, I might make it a topic of conversation, just like groove heavy music to lift stuff too. Because after a while, I've been going through like all of the 90s and like early 2000s hardcore classics like 25 to Life, Cold as Life, Marauder, 100 Demons. And after a while, you listen to that stuff enough and you're kind of like, oh, I want something a bit different. I want something a bit, something of a bit of a different vibe. And then you showed me Sodom. And as soon as I heard Sodom, I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm going to be listening to from now on. And M16 is still stuck in my head to this day. I'll just sort of be sitting there driving off to work, or even when I'm at work, and I'll be sitting there singing along in my head and be like, damn it, James, you've got me again.
Yeah, my workout album lately has been War Culture by Perfect World. It's not in my top 10 or anything, but just a really solid workout hardcore album, really fun.
What have been the albums that have come out recently, or ones that came out earlier on in the year that sort of snuck up on you and have molded your top 4?
Are you asking me or Brendan first? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you guys can fight to the death or like flip a coin.
I could share one and you could share one.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, mine recently just came out and I fucking love it. I've probably listened to it at least 6 times, just exclusively, like no interruptions, and then probably 10 times total. I love it. The Mastiff album.
Oh, yes.
The Ashes of the...
that's on my list too.
Dude, oh my God.
I saw you post that album in the group the other day, and I was like, all right, I'll give this a listen. And like to start off, it's kind of like a bit ambient, a bit spooky, but when it hits... Yeah,
that first track.
It
hits so fucking hard.
Yep. Yeah, well, yeah. Oh my God, it's so goddamn good, man. And like, there's influences all over the place. Like, dude, they're just everything, man. This album hits all the marks for me. It's fucking fast. It's got the slow. It's got the groove. It's fucking the vocals. I love the vocals. This one, like I said, man, there's been a lot of music out this year. There's a lot of really good contenders, but this one really hit it for me.
Yep. Yeah, that it was like. Do you remember when we had Dan Dolby, the bass player from the band, on the podcast? The guy, he also has Strawberry recordings, and like he's like, yeah, the next album's going to be like really heavy, really good. I'm like, yeah, the last one's pretty good. And then the hit I listened to, I was like, holy shit, you weren't joking. Like, this is really, really good.
I know. And it's like, just like, dude, you were like, that's Dan there. And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Holy shit. Like, wow.
Yeah, you didn't make the connection, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's so fucking good, dude. It rips you apart and it like doesn't let you down gently. It's so nice.
All right, so I'll hit one of mine then. One of the ones that really like kind of caught me off guard the other day was Tommy Stewart's Direwolf. I don't know if you heard that or not.
I have not.
That's the band, and the album was Doomsday Deferred. It was like, I don't know. I did not go into it expecting nearly as much as I got. It was like the album cover's got this kind of trippy picture of like a marijuana plant with a face on it. That's what it looks like, at least. I was like, oh, it's going to be more stoner doom. I'll give it a spin. And it was like just completely unique. It's got the weirdest mixing and like mastering to it. It sounds like you're listening to it through a wall from another room. And like the parts that should go low go high, and the parts that should go high go low, and there's weird fade ins and fade outs. And it's just a super unusual album, and I love it. And it's weirdo doom. It's super catchy and into your brain.
Calling it weirdo doom. I like
New genre.
It. I like it.
Yeah, he's a super nice dude as well. He owns Black Doomba Records, who's the label that put out Brave Huffer.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, he messaged me and was like, "Thank you for the review." And I was like, "Dude, this is like a contender for my top albums of the year." It's like, it means so much that you would say that. I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe how good your own music is. It's so humble. Like, Talented dude. Nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, mine, second one, came out in July, and it's a band from New York called Insidia, and they put out a little album, self-titled, and it just hits hard. It bangs. It's melodic. It's kind of got like a little bit of like, I wouldn't call it, it's like a hardcore like feel to it, with like a death metal, like it's definitely not deathcore. It's like it's not like someone's choking on something and they're like, oh yeah, or like squealy pigs, you know what I mean? Like I can't stand the squealy pigs. Like you could have the best music going, and then like all of a sudden you're like, and you're like, you fucking lose me, dude. I'm sorry.
It's like, I think from what I can gather, deathcore is one of those genres that everyone can enjoy shitting on together.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but the amount of memes that I've seen bullying deathcore kids, it's kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. I can see why.
There is some good deathcore out there. Deathcore can be done right, but there's a lot of it that's just like squealy pigs and fucking it's just.
What's the other? The squealy pigs and the breeze. As soon as they bring out the
the
kind of like
yeah. You know. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's like just I don't even know. Like, are you a horse? Are you dying? Like, what's going on? Oh, I love it and hate it. No, I hate it. I all hate it. I just fucking. Anyway, this album's nothing like that at all. So it is really good. It's fucking really, really well done. And if you had purchased it, they were putting 50% of their proceeds to help combat homelessness. So that's pretty cool, if you ask me.
That is pretty cool. I'll go my next one probably as Verloren by Withered. I missed this album when it came out, unfortunately, and I found it by accident driving the other day, and then I listened to it like 6 times, and I haven't stopped listening to it since. It is one of the best extreme metal albums I've ever had. I don't even know what genre to call it. It's like a mix of sludge, grindcore, black metal, post-metal. It's everything, and it's just awesome. It's like really bleak, really raw, really heavy. And there's this one track that is in the middle of the album. I think I can't remember what it's called. It's like breaking through something, passing through. That's just like 90 seconds of harsh noise, and it hurts. And you're like, I'm glad that's over, but you're still glad it was there. No, it's a very good album. Fantastic. Everyone should check it out.
Hell yeah.
Before we move on to your one, Brendan, there's one that we should talk about that all three of us fanboyed for really hard for a long time. Wanderer, Liberation from a Brutalist Existence.
So good.
Oh, yes!
So good. I remember listening to that and going like, who gave permission to these guys to make a record that goes so fucking hard? Like, you're kind of sitting there, there's a whole bunch of really good, just like straight up hardcore parts, and then it goes into the down-tuned, really ignorant, really violent beatdown sections, and you kind of just go, man, I'm glad I'm not at a show with this. I'm going to be walking away with broken bones if I attended one.
Right.
Yeah, that was what it's funny because like it's not every day that all three of us fanboy that hard about an album.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is really so. Well, when it's good, dude, it's fucking good. You know, like you just those guys really like. I love that kind of like. It's basically like new age, like kind of. I don't know, converge in a way. Like I don't know, like.
It's dead. It's like it's. I don't know. It's different. I can see the converge comparison with like the chaotic sound.
Oh yeah, it's so fucking technical.
Yeah, it's more technical.
So good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Sorry, you're onto your one, Brent. I just thought we actually mentioned that because all three of us loved it.
No, you're A-okay there. So actually, you mentioned that. I have a very similar styled, like kind of blackened hardcore band lined up that put out a great album, which I'm looking at the vinyl. I want to buy it, but the shipping is just. How do you justify it? It's like almost the same as the vinyl, right? You're like, why? But the Path of the Wrath by the Wolf King is just so goddamn good. I love this style. It's blackened hardcore. It's fast. It's metal. It's checks all the marks again. Like I think you'd really like it. I think both of you would really like this if you haven't heard it, Matt. I think you'd really love it, especially. You definitely got to check it out.
Was it Wrath?
Okay.
The Wolf King is the band.
There we go.
The Path of the Wrath. I'm sorry, not the Wrath. Sorry. The Path of Wrath.
Beautiful.
That is a must listen for you. I think you'd really enjoy it.
All right. It's up on Bandcamp now, and that's probably what's going to be happening as soon as we jump off the podcast.
Yeah, man. It's I love that. It's like blackened hardcore, like you think of like Young and in the Way and stuff like that. Like it's good, dude. It's fucking good.
I don't know what it is, but it's always that combination of hardcore and something else that really tips it over the edge. Like, don't get me wrong, I like going back and listening to like old hardcore shit, like I mentioned, like, like Judge, Earth Crisis, Cro-Mags, that kind of era. But the new era that's kind of a little bit more down-tuned, plays around with ambience a little bit more, has more of a blackened feel of it, for lack of a better term. And even when they bring in some of those like black and roll droning guitar riffs, there's something about that just elevates it a little bit more from like dudes wearing camo shorts, Nike Air Maxes, and like tattoos on the back of their calves,
Yep.
Okay, my next one then is I have two more I have to list, so I'm trying to decide which ones.
You're all good.
Gonna go with Joy Thieves, American Parasite. Just in stellar industrial punk, like old school style punk. It's got members. Hang on, it has so many members. It's a collective, but it's got people from absolutely massive bands in it. It's got people from Ministry in it. What else? It's got everyone. It's a huge collective anyway. But the album is one of the few albums I've heard that captures like the old school spirit of punk. It's got that like raw political aggression, but it's not over the top. It's still catchy. The vocalist is from Scotland, and he's got a thick accent, which, when you have that thick like accent from anywhere in the UK added to punk, it's always better.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like there's Idols do it really well with that really thick accent. Fontaine's DC are another fantastic Irish punk band that have that really thick, really broad accent, and it adds something to it. I don't know what it is. I guess like after a while you kind of get desensitized to listening to a lot of American punk. So you get really excited about that different voice and that different timbre. But yeah, I know what you mean. It really sets it off and makes it stand out.
Who was that other band that had that song "London Is the Reason"?
Fucking Gallows.
Yeah, they were great too.
Holy shit.
They were a good band.
Dude, the vocalist from that, Frank Carter's still making music, but now he kind of makes sort of middle of the road alt rock. Like he really ran the gambit of being like a little redheaded dude that'd get into fights at every fucking show to make
he tattooed his own head, the back of his own head.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he is a tattoo artist by trade, so it makes sense. But yeah, Gallows have been a band that ever since I saw him at Soundwave back in 2011, 2012, I've followed them through the death. And then he left, and then one of the guys from Alexis on Fire joined as a vocalist. And I think they put out an EP and a record and then disappeared into the ether. But man, Gallows is a perfect example of that really broad sort of UK accent that serves really well.
Yeah, I have the actual lineup from the collective here, so I can actually tell you accurately now. So Joy Thieves has members of Ministry, Killing Joke, Pig, David Bowie, Marilyn Manson, Depeche Mode, Nine Inch Nails, KMFDM, Blue October. It's got everyone, dude. It's crazy. White Zombie, like it's got people from like a ton of massive bands that have been involved with it.
What? How many people are in that band then?
It's a collective, so you don't have it's not really a band. People just kind of jump in on tracks and do bits and pieces, and across albums. But the last album was the first one where they had one vocalist the whole time, and they went with Chris Conley is the guy I'm thinking of. That's the vocalist from Scotland, and he's best known. I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff, but people probably know him from Ministry and KMFDM.
Alrighty. I haven't listened to either of those bands, and I know Yari's going to yell at me to listen to KF, whatever the fuck.
Dude, you got to. Have you not seen listened to the Crow soundtrack?
What, the fucking movie? Yeah, I've seen the movie and I listened to the soundtrack. I didn't know that whoever.
You gotta get yourself some. You gotta listen.
All right. Well, I feel like every time I am on this podcast and chat to you guys, I end up getting homework that I need to do.
I know, me too, which is always good.
It is. This is definitely true.
Brendan, you got one more, and then I'll do my last one. You better stop there because there's too many.
All right, yeah, I know. I have a couple more lined up as well. I'm like, dang. All right, but I flipped the coin, and I'm gonna go with Fange, a band out of France. Okay. Have you Pantocrator? Sorry.
Wow. You showed me them. Yeah, I listened to that. That was really good.
It really is. It's so good. It's 2 really long tracks. I want to say about 20 minutes apiece, 15 minutes apiece. Yeah. And it's just so good. The Doom, the vocals are just insane. They're intense. They're great. There's kind of a slight electronic-y feel a little bit at parts. It's just yet again, it checks a lot of marks, and obviously you can't go wrong with a Sludge Lord release,
Nope.
So
that was Sludge. I didn't realize that was Sludge Lord.
Yeah, cassette from Sludge Lord. Pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know where the vinyls are coming from, but I'm sure he did the tapes. But they it's so good. The French metal scene is really good. You have and LLNN is putting out something new too. And it's just man, it's just that French stuff. It's so good. It's a little industrial, a little noisy. It's got the sludge and death metal. It's just all just jumbled up and stretched out into 2 15-minute long tracks. For me, I love it. It's brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah, that one was awesome. I really enjoyed that. So for my last one, I guess I'm going to go with Stress Angel, the album Bursting Church. That is from Dying Victim Productions, the label. Just really raw, dirty, blackened speed thrash, death metal stuff. A real 80s feel to it. I think I sent it to you, Brendan. I think you liked it.
You did. Yeah, I definitely liked it. I have their a myriad of their stuff now in my wish list.
From Dying Victim Productions.
Yeah, I was like, I just got to keep putting it in there.
Dude, they're fantastic. They're such a good label. Based out of Germany, and just put out nothing but 80s style thrash, old heavy metal, and new wave heavy metal, and blackened speed thrash stuff. That album is super aggressive and has those echoed vocals that were big in the 80s, with first wave black metal stuff. It's just awesome.
It really is so much fun. That kind of thrash is it's cool that it's coming back too,
Yeah, it's the same scene. There's so much stuff like that nowadays. Grave Ripper was like that too. I love it. I love that 80s, and Nat Moran from
that Grave Ripper album,
Wise Blood Records.
Sure.
It's it's retrending again, 80s style black and speed thrash. It's awesome. I love that stuff so much because I'm a huge fan of early Celtic Frost and Hellhammer and that stuff. So that's for me, that's super cool.
Did you check out Molten?
Yeah.
Dystopian Syndrome?
Yeah, I think, is that the latest album?
Yeah, I think so. It came out on the Transylvanian recordings.
Yeah, I listened to, I can't remember the name of the album, but I listened to the latest album.
Dystopian Syndrome, I'm pretty sure it's called.
Yeah, someone put me onto that. I think it may have been Sean, because he's super into that stuff too. But yeah, before we wrap this up, I'll just mention two more, because these are ones that Matt and I shared loving one, and Brandon and I shared loving the other, so we can all appreciate them. Brandon, you and I love Wharf Lurch, Psychedelic Realms of Hell.
Yes!
Honorable mention. And Matt, I know how much you also appreciated Turn Cold, their like 3-track single, Break Your Faith.
Fuck, that's one. Do you guys get to the point where you've listened to so much music that unless you're actually looking at the album cover, you just forget what it was?
Yeah.
So that's basically me at the moment with Turn Cold. Hold on.
That was the one that we both thought was a great band to fill the void that Power Trip left.
Oh, yeah, dude, it even looks like a fucking Power Trip cover as well. And I just, I Googled because I was like, I don't know what this is. But they look like the kind of guys that play that kind of music. They like, you know, when you like, well, James and I were having this conversation the other day, but you know how there's artists where you look at them and then you work out the kind of music that they make that it's a straight one-to-one. Like you look at Tom Waits and you think, yeah, of course Tom Waits that makes that kind of music, right? That's exactly what I'm seeing with Turn Cold. You listen to the music and you look at them and kind of go, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like what else? Like what other kind of music could they make?
Matt Pike is the best example of that.
Isn't it like a thing if you see a photo with Matt Pike having a shirt on, you got to go out and buy a lottery ticket just because it's rare as fuck?
Yeah. I joined a Facebook group the other day, and the question you had to answer was, what's Matt Pike's favorite brand of shirt?
Burlap sack.
None, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I don't think I've ever seen him wear a shirt ever.
That's a trick question. They would have tripped some people up there.
Yeah.
That's terrifying, that is.
I would be like, nice try. Santa Claus isn't real.
You mentioned we wanted to do this, so do we want to quickly list off maybe a couple of albums outside of like metal and punk and stuff that we like from the year?
Yeah, for sure.
I got a Doom album. That's pretty nice.
Doom?
Yeah, I guess that's not in the, I don't know.
It has to be non-metal. I mean, if you don't listen to any, that's fine.
It's okay, Brendan. James and I are really just posers, and you're the true metal man of this podcast.
You are. You're pure.
You're not tainted like us fools.
Oh, that's funny. You know what I got? I got you something. My son's been really loving Styx. So that's been a lot. We've been playing a lot of Mr. Roboto.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Although I do like a lot of classic rock, so it's not like super out of the ordinary.
What about you? What have you got?
In terms of like non-metal stuff, I've got my list here in front of me. I mean, Sleaford Mods came out at the start of the year, and they're always good. They're another band that looks exactly like they sound.
They do.
So, like, anytime there's a new Sleaford Mods release, I'll give it a listen. I really like the new Lord record. Like, I've been a fan of Lord since like Pure Heroin came out. It was really fun, like dark pop, and then Melodrama was a lot more like preppy, had a bit more pep to its step, and then
Lord.
Exactly. You can't say Lord without that scene popping into your head.
No.
But it was one of those things, and I can't remember whether it was directly from an interview with Lord, but someone said about the album, like, spend a full day at the beach and then listen to it on the way home, and it's like the perfect accompaniment. Like how Brendan, I think it was maybe the first or second podcast we did, you mentioned that you listen to things at particular times of the year. Like you'll have albums for particular seasons. Yeah. So it's kind of like that sort of vibe. Like I try to listen to it not coming back from the beach, but I went out to Shorncliffe recently, which is like 45 minutes, half an hour from where I live in Brizzy. And coming back from the beach after spending a full day in the sun, you listen to Solar Power and you kind of go, yeah, this makes sense. Like it's not as poppy as a lot of the other stuff that Lord's done, but she's a really good songwriter, and I had a lot of time for that album. And James, what about you? I know that you venture out of the world of metal and hardcore every once in a while. What's been one of the ones that's piqued your interest?
Well, for me, it's been like a lot more lately than usual because I've really fallen in love with like a lot of alternative folk stuff and a lot of dark ambient stuff. So I've listened to a lot of both of those. So I guess I'll go. Like, there's a band I did the Cave Dweller special on it 2 months ago called Animales de Poder, which I probably pronounced completely wrong because I don't speak Portuguese. But they're from Brazil. No, not Brazil. Oh man, hang on. I'm going to be horribly wrong here if I don't get this right. It's not Brazil. It's Matt. You'll have to cut this out. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
1 second. It would be rude to get their country wrong. Uruguay. There you go. Very different. From Uruguay. But they play like experimental folk stuff, just straight up South American folk with some spoken word and like Latin singing. It's really female vocalist, like super soothing, catchy stuff, very relaxing. And then we've got to pick one more, I guess. These guys are super popular. I won't cover them.
Do it. Dude, I picked Lord as if everyone hasn't fucking heard of her.
I guess so. I just feel bad giving like exposure to people that have so much. Wardruna.
No.
With their album Kit Raven. That was the folk project that was started by Gal from Gorgoroth after Gorgoroth.
Oh, that's right. I forget that he does dabble in that kind of folk stuff every now and then.
Well, he did. I think he did the first 2 albums, maybe 3. I can't remember how many he did, but then he left. And they've had other people leading it since then, and it's still stayed just as fantastic. So, yeah, I almost bought tickets to see them. But then I realized the tickets were for 2022, December. I was like, I'm not buying tickets that far in advance. I do really want to see them. I am actually seeing another folk band from overseas next Friday, which I'm super stoked about. It's a band that I've talked about on here on the podcast, and we reviewed them, called Medulla Mocta. They're like they play a style of music called Tuareg. It's like from the sub-Sahara. They're from Niger, and they play this like psychedelic folk rock. But they're coming to San Diego, and I'm seeing them next Friday, so I'm super stoked. I've never seen a band from Niger before, so that'll be interesting.
Man, that's fantastic, and that's like not exactly an area that you normally would associate with like international touring acts. So that's an interesting one.
I know. Yeah, that's when I saw that they're selling tickets. I was like, holy shit, they're playing here. So yes, I bought them like right away.
Man, imagine being able to go to gigs. There was a Tropical Fuckstorm show this weekend, but obviously everything's shit the bed in Australia, so I'm not going to be able to see how did they describe him once? A stoner dad and his 3 lesbian daughters.
Yeah. So accurate.
It's, oh man.
I did not know he had another project, did you?
I knew that he was initially from the Drones, but I
knew that, but I mean, like, he has an active project I didn't know about.
No, like the one that you sent me before, was it Springtime? I've never heard of that.
Summertime. Was it Summertime?
I've never heard that mentioned or spoken about. So it's gonna have to be one that'll be added to the list.
I just found out by scrolling through that Animals as Leaders just released a new single.
Oh, breaking news. That won't be breaking news by the time this comes out.
No, September 2nd it came out, so we're a little bit behind the 8 ball there, but new to me.
Also, to touch on the big topic everyone's talking about this week, have either of you guys listened to the new Carcass yet?
I did. I didn't get all the way through. I got about halfway through, and then I had to turn it off and not listen to music. So, but I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it kind of sounded like a mix between Heartwork and Swan Song, like in between the two albums. And they had some stuff from Surgical Steel still in there, but it had some like really groovy rock rhythms.
It did. Yeah, I can't remember. I think I got through like the first 3 or 4 songs, so I got to catch back to it. But what I did hear was I liked.
Don't judge it by the album cover. Because personally, I think the album cover is really dumb. But
or their plate.
Oh, the plates were the dumbest thing ever.
That has to be one of my favorite pieces of shit merch. It's up there with like the Supreme brick. I don't know whether you guys saw that.
I saw the Supreme brick.
Yeah, it's kind of that level of what can we put our merch on and get away with it?
A dinner set. The dumbest shit ever.
Oh my God. So true.
And it's like they're not even like a band that needs to get their name out there. You know what I mean? Everyone knows Carcass. It's not like they're struggling to get recognized. So, we need to put our name on some products to try and get our name out there. No, you don't. You really don't.
Dude, it just sounds like you're still a little bit traumatized from getting in a Facebook fight over this.
It wasn't a fight. The guy just said I didn't understand art because I thought they're selling out with shitty merch was dumb.
That has to be my least favorite response to anything. It's like, you just don't understand. It's like, no, fucking obviously, you idiot. If I understood, I probably would like it. Like, get off your fucking high horse.
Yeah, I clearly I don't understand it. That's why I have an issue with it.
Yeah. So we've covered pretty much everything in terms of what's happening up to this stage in the Cave Dweller universe. Before we go, we always sort of like to look ahead to see what albums are coming out in the next little while that we're keen. We've already like dumped a whole bunch of upcoming releases on you guys. So I'll probably get you gents to pick one album that's coming out soon that you are particularly keen on, and then we'll wrap up for the day. So Brendan, what's an album that's coming out in the next few weeks or even towards the end of the year that you've got your eyes peeled for?
Forgive me for I don't remember the name of it, but there's 2 of them. Mine's the band is From When the Deadbolt Breaks.
Nice.
Yeah, they're 2 little albums that they mentioned in our last cast that I wanna catch those. I'm looking forward to those, and obviously the new Nothing Is Real, because let's be real, Nicholas Turner is like got to be like doom metal musician of the year, dude, with all the shit he's put out.
James, what about you? What's on your listening list once it becomes released?
So this only hit my listening list very recently. We actually premiered the track for it yesterday. Yeah. So I'm going to go with In the Throes of Madness by Grim Earth, coming out on Desert Records on November 5th. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to that track.
Yes. I have the 2 tracks you gave me at fire.
Yeah, it's
this is going to be fun.
It's like Nola style sludge, kind of like I Hate God type stuff.
All right,
yeah.
I'll be interested.
Yeah,
it's better
hardcore and power violence.
Hardcore and power violence. Man, that's a genre that you don't really hear much from anymore. I remember when power violence was massive, but it just kind of, I don't know whether it's because I've gravitated out of that scene that I don't hear about it anymore, but I remember when, who was it, fucking Trash Talk were like the kings of power violence and they were everywhere.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Matt, I think you will dig it, because it's kind of everything that you love, like super raw, filthy sludge with hardcore and power violence.
You've got me now. Can I just steal that for my most keen one? Like I haven't even heard any of the songs, but you've given me enough of an interesting provisor that, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Did you guys know about the grindcore tribute to Nirvana?
No.
Oh,
well, guess what? There's a grindcore tribute to Nirvana by Sunstrike Records.
Damn.
So it's got Wartemizer, Gummo, Curson, Grist, Bandit, Berdizzo, Insane Order. A lot, dude. It's just everybody. I just found it. I keep finding some neat stuff right now. This is great.
We should just keep this podcast running and just have Brendan scroll through the internet and be like, "Oh, did you guys know about this? I just found it."
Well, guess what? Grindcore tribute to Nirvana. Who fucking would have thought that?
I wouldn't have thought that. Like, I know that they released a Metallica tribute record, one of the very fucking many. But the only reason I knew about it is because the Chats did a cover of a Metallica song, which not something you'd see a crossover between. But yeah, the Chats doing a Metallica cover, hey?
Did you hear the Idols Metallica cover as well?
Oh, that's the other one. I didn't get around to listening to it because it was
so good.
I saw that Idols had a brand new song and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then you were like, yeah, it's a Metallica cover. And I kind of went, oh, that's still pretty cool. I might get to it later, but.
Dude, it's so much better than the original. It's fantastic. It's honestly so good.
Again, Idols, another band that looks exactly how they sound.
And have yet to ever release bad music.
No, they haven't. They've what, 2 albums, I think, and each album, 3, that's right, because there was Brutalism, the other one, Joy is an Act of Resistance, and
yes, the latest one.
Is it Split Mono? I remember I reviewed it. But yeah, all 3 of them are fantastic.
I think they don't have any EPs. I think it's just the albums.
Yeah, I think it's just the 3. And Idols to me are typical of how to make modern punk good. James
no, wait, they had an EP. They had 2 EPs.
Well, there we go. More to go back and listen to. But this is something, and Brendan, you may have come across this as well. Modern punk like Idols and that kind of ilk are really good because they deviate from that that standard formula. But then you hear punk bands nowadays that basically sound like they were trying to get signed to Fat Records in the 90s. And you kind of sit there thinking we've moved past Epitaph and Fat Records, right? Pennywise and NoFX aren't the biggest bands in the world right now.
It's true. They're good though.
They are good bands. It's just kind of hearing a retread of 90s. The
problem with modern punk is that so many bands just heard Pennywise and cool, that's it. We're just gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the ethos of what I'm trying to get at here. And Australia has got a really good punk scene from what I can gather because they kind of blend a classic rock aesthetic to punk. It's still really dirty, really raw, really energetic, but they also kind of realize that, fuck, man, we're musicians. We're here to put on a show. And they get really into the theatrics of it, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
But that pretty much wraps up everything that we had lined up, wanted to cover. Is there anything that we've missed that you gents wanted to talk about? What's coming up in the next little while? Let's gaze into our crystal ball.
I think, we've got the merch coming up. More announcements from the PR side of things. What else? Oh, you know what we never talked about that we did between our last podcast and this one?
What's that?
The charity sampler.
Oh, yes. All right. Let's get into the charity sampler because that was a pretty major thing that we ran and was pretty successful.
Right. It was.
Shit,
We gotta do it again
it's
next
been
year.
way too long since we had a chat to the people.
I only just thought about that. I'm like, shit, that was May.
Fuck, that was in May. So yeah, let's do a recap of the charity sampler.
Well, James had an awesome idea, and he said, "No, that's what you're supposed to say." I had an idea for a charity sampler.
I thought you were going to quote me.
All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again, and we can use the magic of post-production to get it right.
Yeah. You go again, Brendan.
So, hang on. Sorry. What I forgot what I just said. What I said? I said, well, so with the charity sampler, James had an idea, and he was like,
I said, what if we put together a bunch of artists that are part of the Cave Dweller community and did some sort of compilation album to benefit Mental Health Month? And then everyone was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Let's do that. And it just kind of started happening.
yeah.
That spitball kind of just kept rolling, snowballed into a whole big thing.
We're like,
And
how do we do it?
yeah, how many artists did we have in the end? Was it 36?
53.
50. Okay, I was way off. 53. Yeah, 53 artists involved across 2 albums. We got art donated by, who was the artist that did that again?
Joe Ravinger Romero.
Yes. Fantastic album art. Yeah, it was just amazing. Everyone came together. We raised over 550 US after taxes and fees, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, and gave half to a US mental health charity and half to a European mental health charity.
Yep. And when we called it Mind Over Metal.
Yes, we did. And it is actually available at Name Your Price on our Bandcamp. So if anyone who doesn't have it, just go get a copy right now. You get 53 tracks free.
Yeah.
It was
So
one of
cool.
those. It was one of those things that you put the call out there, and we got a whole bunch of artists, and then we got a whole bunch more artists, and then we got more artists, and we kind of got to the point.
It happened so fast. It was insane. Like everybody said yes.
Oh, and we have to thank Jules from Armalite for mastering that completely for free, which is amazing that he did that. Truly appreciate that. Wouldn't have been possible without it, really.
The mastering, or oh my God, that was really nice for sure. Like, and it was like an unforeseen thing that we were like, yeah, let's get this done. And then we're like, wait, there's so much more work to be done here. Let's get it done quick.
None of us had ever done a compilation album before, so it was kind of a steep learning curve.
Oh yeah, it was, figure out how to parachute, really. Like all these people that like all said yes, like expect it to be done and done right, so
and honestly,
yeah, that was fun.
It kind of was way smoother than it should have been. We should have hit way more.
Well, you know what though? Redbeard Wall said it best. He's like, hey man, if you want to do good and you ask people to do good, it's like they're obviously they're going to say yes and help out. Like it just goes around, like
we need to acknowledge him on this podcast very briefly before it wraps up as the most positive man in metal.
100%. You are worth it.
Redbeard Wall. Check him out. Check out his latest album, 3. Support the man. He deserves it. He's one of the best human beings on this planet.
100%.
What was he described as? A wrecking ball of human positivity?
Yep.
That's a really good way of describing someone.
Honestly, I'm sure he gets like a million messages, and like he responds to every single person. Like it's so cool, man.
Every comment on his social media, he responds to every comment.
I messaged him not too long ago because he had like, as always, like a positive message going out, and I'm just like, oh man, I love when you're like these things pop up in my feed, like thanks so much again, and he's just replied to me. I never expected, but he always replies, and it's awesome, man. Like, it's real cool. Like if you're ever feeling down, give that guy a message and he will fucking pick you the fuck up.
There's a high chance he'll actually send you a custom video thanking you for the message.
Yep. Yeah, it's cool, man. He's the real deal.
Yep.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I think that's basically it. That's it covered.
Oh, beauty. Well, hopefully we don't leave it this long until we do our next podcast. But yeah, a whole bunch of exciting stuff happening in the Cave Dweller world. Merch, PR, the Mind Over Metal sampler is available through our Bandcamp, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, we have. So there's one that's just like a Bandcamp account that I use for the site, which is called Cave Dweller Music, which is just like my personal one. But then there's one under the same name, Cave Dweller Music, that is actual official artist one. So you want to go to the artist one.
Or you can see what James has got in his wish list and sort of cherry pick some stuff through there.
There's a lot of stuff in there too.
I mean, if we're giving out personal Bandcamps, mine's called Oi Nah Mate. So if you want to see what I'm having a listen to, get onto that.
I've got 1,787 things in my wish list. So
I've got 1,024.
You're getting too close to me now. I got to get mine up there. I got to get these wish list stuff. I did break 666. Thank you, Teeth, for breaking that one for me with the pre-order on Finite. And then, dude, I'm almost at 700 now, 692.
That's crazy.
Well, James, you did just hook me up with like 4 albums.
I had better get going. So thank you guys for making this happen again. It's been too long. Next time I have to do it more frequently.
Oh, absolutely.
No worries, gents. Well, we'll chat again shortly. And yeah, if you want to get involved, Cave Dweller Music on Facebook. We got a Facebook group that you can post all your stuff in there. We've got the Discord. The website's up. We've got PR. Basically anything you can want in the world of heavy music is available for you. So make sure you get on board. Come join our tribe and we'll chat again shortly.
Cheers.